Hafiz TV, unique every day.
The topic here is healing. As you can see, healing hearts. And the subtitle is to do with healing hearts through service. I have a problem. As we left the stage from the earlier session of Unplugged, the group of speakers got involved in World Cup arm wrestling. So in our room at the back, everyone's wrestling one another, and the World Cup champion happened to be none other than the biggest and the strongest from amongst us, Dr. Muhammad Salah. So I was part of it. I didn't win, but mashallah, you might see a video or two floating around later. The reason I'm saying this is because, forget about heartbreak, my arm is broken. Allah Almighty grant us ease. I said to them, next year I'm coming back, we'll train the whole year, make sure the triceps are in order. I didn't know we were having World Cup arm wrestling here in Hong Kong. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all. Any heart that is broken shall be healed through the connection with Allah. Remember that. Any heart that is broken shall be healed through the connection with Allah. The reason is Allah made it, and Allah knows it better than you whom it is within your body knows it. You know your heart, you know your feelings. Guess what? The one who made you knows your feelings better than you know them. He knows your heart better than you know it. He made your heart. He makes it pump and beat more than 136,000 times a day. If you put your hand on your chest, what do you feel? You feel a heartbeat. Did you pay for it? No. Is there a battery in there? Solar? Even if you're bald, it's not solar energy. Right? Like me, okay? 136,000 times the heart is just going on and on. And who made it? Someone made it. And it keeps moving, it keeps going. Everything else, your organs, your liver is working, your kidney is working, your colon is functioning, your eyes are functioning, the nose is smelling and doing whatever it's supposed to. Everything is happening subconsciously without you knowing or thinking about everything. You cannot think about everything. You are a human. You can think of one or two things at once. Concentrate on your heartbeat, you concentrate. Concentrate on your eyesight, you concentrate. Concentrate on your hearing, you will concentrate on that. Can you concentrate on all 100, 500, 1,000 things at once? Never. That is Allah. So Allah made all of these things. The best use of all of these faculties can only happen when you plug in with your own maker. When you actually turn to Allah. And that's why we say, I want to know how to heal the broken heart. The first question is, why did it break in the first place? Right? Why did it break? When you go to the doctor, you say, I have a cough, or I'm not feeling well. The doctor will ask you to explain. Then the doctor wants to know how it happened. I remember a person not too long ago who suffered something very strange, a sickness and a disease of fungus and bacteria and so on within the mouth, and it resulted in all the organs of the body being affected. The person was in ICU for a while and so on. They traced back what happened. Guess what happened? It was to do with something called the shisha. You know the shishas? They call them shishas? Yes. Because of the dirt of the water and the thing, and because of them sharing it, I don't even know how it works. I just see people, and they are so deep into it that they can make shapes. They say, where do you come from? Say, hold on. And then the flag, mashallah, Nigeria. You know that it's Nigeria. They show you Africa map. Masha, there's Africa. Where do you come? This guy comes from Australia. How do you know? Look how he's blowing it. The next thing is out. So this is where the people get to. They are so bored that they don't know what to do. Do you know there are people, many people who've almost died as a result of this? People say, but it's not as unhealthy as cigarettes. Wallahi, it is 1,000 times more unhealthy than cigarettes. And it's worse. Don't develop these habits. They say, no, socialization. What's socialization? You'll destroy your health and then what? Say, no, but I'm still healthy. So you're waiting to break it. And then what are you going to do? You want to turn to Allah. Please make dua for me. You know, I always say when the heart is broken because there was a business deal that went wrong, they quickly run to the scholar. You know, this person, this is what happened. The business deal went wrong. They did this to me and they cheated me. I say, brother, when you were doing the deal, you didn't come to me. When it broke, you came to me, right? If you were doing the deal and you came to me, it was different, right? You say, Sheikh, you know what, come in here, we're giving you 5% of this deal or 10% of this deal. Oh, wow, I'm interested in it. You know what, because of that 5 or 10%, it won't even break, inshallah, right? Well, we don't want the 5% and we don't want the 10. But the point is, when your heart is broken, it's the first time that you start thinking of where to go. Where to go? Where do you go? So, what do? You try this, try that. Some people hook onto bad habits. They might start drinking because their heart is broken. What will that do for you? Your heart will become more broken because your heart broke and now your brain is breaking, right? Your consciousness is breaking. Your money is disappearing. People, heart broke, so now they're on drugs. Why? It's gone worse. It's gone worse. You go back to the source and the reason of the heartbreak. Usually, it's connected to something you found on earth that you are too closely connected to. That's it. You're too closely connected to it. So one of the ways of remedying yourself is disconnect a little bit or understand to what level you need to connect. Don't over-connect. What did you find on earth? You found things, you were given things, given by Allah. People's children are lost, pass away. It's one of the most difficult things you can go through. Your spouse passes away. One of the most challenging things, but you have to get up and understand this person, even if it's my own child, is actually the ownership of Allah. I did not have that child prior to the date of birth of the child or the conception of the child, but now that I have this child, it was given to me by Allah and will be taken away by Allah. It's a temporary thing, that's all. Get used to the idea that everything is temporary. That's what it is. So when someone loses a family member, yes, it's hard. Yes, you will cry. Crying helps you heal your heart. By all means, it does. It's a coping mechanism of human beings. Allah wants you to cry. No problem, cry, cry. But don't lose faith, connect with Allah. And what else? I need to make sure that I realize that this is temporary. If Allah chose it for me, I'm happy, I'm okay. I will push myself to understand life goes on. Life goes on. Keep moving. Get up, move. You will heal. Allah will grant you healing. Part of your healing is to push yourself, to understand that, you know what, I'm not the only one whom this has happened to. So many people have suffered in the same way or even more. And you know what? They've come out of it and they did so well. Many times we fail an exam, or we lose money, or we lose a job, or we have suffered a loss of something for some reason, and we think it's the end of everything. It's your attitude that is making you think that way. Change the attitude. It's not the end. You might say, well, I'm trying for 2 years, for 3 years, now I'm giving up. What if Allah wrote that in 2.5 years or 3.5 years, your problem was going to be resolved and everything was going to turn around, but you gave up 6 months before the time? What if? So don't give up. Someone might say, okay, let me extend it 6 more months. I am not Allah to know exactly 6 months. It's only an example. It might be longer. But do you know what is the bonus of the delay? The bonus of the delay is that you remain close to Allah as a believer. I know of thousands of examples of people whom they were never close to Allah. They were never upright. They had very bad habits. And Allah blessed them through the death of a loved one. Allah blessed them through the loss of their whole business. Allah blessed them through the failure of an exam that they thought they would pass like this. Allah blessed them through false accusation. Why do I say bless them? Because through that they found Allah. They came to pray for the first time. Hey, wow. This person, mashallah, my brother, you're more than welcome. The masjid, the house of Allah. He will tell you, no, I never prayed in my life, but now I've got a major court case coming up on Monday. You know what? I thought, let me come and cry to Allah. Oh, that means Allah loves you. Allah loves you. If your calamity brought you to Allah, it's not a calamity, it's a blessing. If Allah keeps you that way, He loves you. You gave up your bad habits, you gave up haram, you sought the forgiveness of Allah, you started praying, you changed your life. There's one more thing you are going to need to do. Once you get to that, you realize, guess what? I'm a totally different person. The problem will solve. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. I gave you an example yesterday about Yusuf alayhi salam. Do you know how many years later he was united with his family? 40 years. 40. 40 years later. Oh, and he was a prophet of Allah. If his matter was resolved after 40 years, we are so lucky because many of our problems are resolved in 4 months or in 4 years, not 40 years, right? Your life will change. You lost a job, you can't afford the rent, downgrade, no problem for now. Work very hard. Apply for jobs, apply to 1,000 places, don't give up. The day you give up, your heart will be broken further. So what is the one thing that you still need to do? Before I get to it, do you see how it was a blessing? You might have lost in worldly terms, but you did not lose in the real sense because you came closer to Allah. The worst is he or she who loses both. خَسِرَ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. The one who lost the dunya, which means this world, and the one who lost the akhirah, which means the hereafter. If you lose both, because your problem drifted you away from Allah, then you are at loss. And this is why, my sisters, my brothers, if you want to know whether something that is negative that happened to you is a punishment or a test or a gift, there is a quick test, quick way of looking at it to find out the answer. How? Did it bring you closer to Allah or did it drift you further away from Allah? If it brought you closer to Allah, no matter what it was, it's a gift of Allah. You lost your child. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We all belong to Allah. We're all going to return to Him. Now the question is, did that loss bring you closer to Allah or drive you further away? If it brought you closer to Allah, it's a gift of Allah. But my child, where is my child? Where did they go? Will I see them? Will I not see them? We can answer some of those questions. We cannot answer all of them. But bottom line is, Allah knows. Allah is merciful. Allah is kind. Allah caused the child to come to life in the first place. Don't worry, they've gone to a good place. I remember a brother who lost his life in a very bad accident. Very bad. And the family kept saying, Allah punished him, Allah did this to him, why did Allah take him this way, why did this? And I said, no way. You cannot say that this person is being punished by Allah because you don't know. For as long as they died in a condition that Allah was pleased with them, and only Allah knows that, it was good for them. But the question is for you, who have remained behind. How do you look at it? Look at it as, do you know what? It's going to be hard, it's going to be tough, but I'm going to surrender to the decree of Allah and become a better person so that I can join them in the hereafter. People say, my wife passed away, will I be with her in Jannah? Say, well, if she is in Jannah, the way you are operating in your life, you seem to be heading in the opposite direction. You understand what I mean? if you would like to be with them, Allah says in the Quran, He gives you the answer. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَاتَّبَعَتْهُمْ ذُرِّيَّتُهُمْ بِإِيمَانٍ أَلْحَقْنَا بِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ. Straight. Those who believe and their families have followed after them with belief, we will connect the two in the hereafter. We'll bring you back together again. We'll unite you. What was the condition? You need to be a believer, someone who's close to Allah. You have a maker, you have a connection with that maker. You're a good person. And you kept on going in a good way. Allah says, don't worry. In the hereafter, you'll be in the same place. You'll be together in the same place. That is so beautiful because it reminds me to keep doing good. It helps me focus. Every time there is something haram, I say, I'm not going to do this because I want to be with my loved ones who are gone and I can't afford to compromise it. They are waiting for me in Jannah. We usually say that, isn't it? You lost some children, don't worry, they are waiting for you in Jannah. Don't you hear that? Come on, Hong Kong, don't pretend like you didn't hear that. Yes, we hear that. So, when we hear that, their children are waiting for you in Jannah, but where are you going? You need to do something to get that Jannah. Try, work hard. You're a human, you might falter. There may be sins you commit because you're a human being. Seek forgiveness. Forgiveness is the key. One of the most important factors to enter Jannah is seeking forgiveness. Keep on seeking forgiveness. Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'afu anni. Oh Allah, you are most forgiving, you love to forgive. So forgive me. One day when I taught someone this dua in a lecture just like this, a man came to me later and said, Sheikh, that dua is only for Ramadan. He says there's a hadith in Bukhari, Aisha radiallahu anha asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you see Laylatul Qadr, if we witness it, what dua should we make? And he mentioned that. So please don't go around telling people to make the dua outside of Ramadan. I said, oh wow. And since when did you become a sheikh? The dua is recommended for Laylatul Qadr, but it is a dua that you can read every day, all day long, no problem. What is it? It's only asking for forgiveness of Allah. There's no restriction as to when you should seek that or make that dua. Oh Allah, you love to forgive. You are most forgiving. Forgive me. You ask Allah now, while we are seated here. Say it. No problem. May Allah make it easy. Then you get to the place. But until and unless your heart is not softened to look for other people who are going through the same crisis as yours or any other crisis and try to empower them and to change their lives or to reach out to them with something, be it money, be it just an ear that you lend them, a word of comfort, be it shedding a tear with them sometimes to be able to feel their pain, to acknowledge them, to speak to them, to take them out because they need to come out of the environment perhaps. They might be lonely and so on. All of that leads to you having your heart being healed by Allah because you went to others whose hearts were broken and you helped heal them. What did you do? Well, I heard this brother lost his family in a car crash. I visited him, I spoke to him, I went to him with some food and I sat with him and we ate together. Do you know why? Because when someone's lost their family members, they don't feel like eating. They don't feel like drinking. They don't want to hear about it. But if you're sitting with them and you are eating 2-3 people who are close. Nowadays we have a very bad habit. What's the bad habit? When someone passes away, they put up a big tent. And that big tent is put up and everybody from the whole village comes and eat there. That's why they say you want free meals, you must only join the funeral groups. In some places they do that. You want a free meal? Join the funeral groups. Wherever there is a dead person, go there, you get a free meal. So there are people. They go around. Say, how many people died today? Okay, did you get the address, location? Yes, okay. We'll go for breakfast, late breakfast. Early lunch, lunch and late lunch. Early dinner, dinner and late dinner. That's what's happening. And this huge guy is walking around. What's happening? Oh, I go and say sorry to people who passed on. I'm mentioning this, it might not be a problem in Hong Kong, but trust me, it's a problem in Kong Hong, meaning in other places. Allah grant us ease. The true idea is to go there to give them a good word. May Allah grant them marhum Jannah. May Allah forgive their shortcomings. When I went one day to someone's place and I said, may Allah forgive your mother. He said, why? Did she do something wrong? I said, oh no, now what do you do? I said, no, my brother, it's a dua, it's a sunnah dua. May Allah forgive her shortcomings. No, she was a very good woman, no shortcomings. I said, what do you mean no shortcomings? It's a sunnah dua. If I say, may Allah forgive you, it doesn't mean I believe you are sinful. Just say Ameen and move on. Imagine if I say, brother, may Allah forgive you. Why, did I do something wrong? I say, no. I came here to talk to you and I'm trying to tell you, my brother, may Allah grant you blessings. The biggest blessing is when He has forgiven you. You're a human just like I am. I make sins and make mistakes every single day. And I'm sure as a human, you must be faltering here and there, knowingly, unknowingly. All I'm saying is, oh Allah, forgive us. Forgive us is a better dua than forgive you. Imagine you say, may Allah forgive you. The guy says, why? I rather say, may Allah forgive us. He says, oh, did we sin? Hey, it's hard to live on earth today, huh? You want to do good, they reject it. You do bad, they reject it. Now what do? You breathe, they have a problem, right? You look, they have a problem. You don't look, they have a problem. Allahu Akbar. May Allah grant us ease. All of that should not stop you from continuing the goodness, whether they appreciate or not. You go to someone who's lost a loved one, may Allah forgive them, grant them Jannah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them the loftiest ranks of Jannah. May they be waiting for you. May you be united with them in the Akhirah. May Allah grant all those who are remaining sabr, jameel.
Hafiz TV, unique every day.